For a movie called To Wong Fu. I'm trying to remember, I think there's a subtitle to that too. Haven't been to the Castro in a while, so I'm excited to go. Meeting with some good friends on this completely foggy, freezing San Francisco summer night. And excited to be in this car with a driver who was creative enough to do this. I think it's brilliant. Kind of part of who we are in San Francisco. Innovation, taking chances, and just overall doing something different. Sorry, I'm looking around. The street is always dicey here. I think the Chase Bank may have actually closed up. So there's good and bad around here. Do you want to ask a question?
Well, it's totally up to you.
Ask a question.
Now, what is your favorite thing about this movie that you have heard?
About this movie?
Yeah, I know you haven't watched it.
It's an older movie, so I don't know. And
Okay.
it's set in San Francisco.
Okay.
So definitely a big advocate for that. I'm a reporter here.
Okay.
And for me, I cover everything about the city, good, bad, crazy. And so it's nice to be able to celebrate.
Okay, that's nice then. I'm curious, what is the bad news that you've been hearing about the city?
Crime, serious drug addiction and death, corruption, depression, people leaving, people getting so frustrated that things will never change, that they just either pack up and leave or just stay and are miserable. Businesses closing. Businesses that I valued a lot closing.
Mm-hmm.
The downtown area facing serious challenges. But the most thing that bugs me is that the people who are in charge politically are not doing the right things. They're failing, and they're really failing the people of San Francisco and the world, because the world wants to come here. This is a magical city, and to have them take such actions that are causing such harm, it's devastating. So I'm looking forward to 2024 and the new administration that's coming in.
I hope that work out better.
Me too.
I heard from one of my passengers from Europe that now in their country their government is telling them not to go to San Francisco because of the crime is dangerous.
Yeah, that is true. Heard it, and honestly, as a reporter who covers San Francisco issues, I've got a show called the San Francisco Beat. I feel like it's really hard when you want to tell the truth, when you need to, when it's your job, and you're covering such tragedies, that you're also not contributing to the negative association of this city, because there's so much great about it too. So it's hard because you have to be honest, and you have to explore the problems, explain the problems, not prettify them. But it can also have a big impact on perception that it's all terrible, which it's not.
I agree.
Yeah. So come to San Francisco. See for yourself.
Yes. At one point I heard that they're going to be bringing down National Guard over here because of the new drugs that they are...
We'll see. This is what we've heard, but so far we haven't seen enough action.
So are you happy if that happened or not happy?
I'm totally happy.
Me too.
Let's bring on...
I support that too.
Do you?
I support that.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Okay, so you've seen your share of troubles.
I grew up in trouble.
Okay.
I grew up with serious troubles, but I'm grateful that I'm in a better place today, in a better society.
And that's actually great too, is to have that perspective, which is people who have had very serious, life-threatening experiences who can come here and say, well, okay, it's bad, but it's better than other places.
That is true.
Right?
That is true. But
and this is what we see too, because we see people coming here all the time from other countries seeking opportunity. So great.
Yes.
And It's gritty, it's dark, but it's not what I would consider dangerous.
Yes. So what is one good thing that you are like so happy and make you live in San Francisco? That one thing.
Oh gosh. I can't say one thing. I will say that every time to this day I'm away from San Francisco, I'm eager to come back. I see the skyline, I see my buildings, and I say all of this is mine. I take ownership of it. And my heart opens up. Like, I think this is my home. And it always makes me happy, even when it's driving me crazy. So I guess I can say that, which is, it just exudes home to me.
That's good. I see that's very positive attitude too. That's very positive, like, way to live or to see at your place. How long you been living in San Francisco?
Almost all my life. I
Oh,
raised
okay.
my daughter here. My husband was born here. It's a very special city, and we have to fight for it. We have to fight for its survival.
I agree.
And I like fighting. So that's another good thing, is that it attracts fighters. And, you can have bad fighters and you have good fighters.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
If you've got a lot of people who are fighting for a city's vibrancy, cleanliness, attractiveness, all of that, good. That's
Yes.
what we need. And that's what we have. I know so many people who are committed. They are here. And I don't think a lot of people in city government know just how powerful they are and how mobilized they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We shall see. But I do know that their passion is here.
Well, I have another question. I have heard that there are about like 1,000 non-profit companies or organizations that there are like here to just in San Francisco City to help homeless.
Not
But they're-
1,000, but I just got off the phone with a meeting with about this
Okay.
very subject. The Department of Homelessness has contracted over 80 nonprofit organizations to do pretty much the same service. Overlap. Some are efficient, some aren't, most aren't. Hundreds of millions of dollars dedicated to that. And what do we see as the result?
It's grown.
It's grown. It has grown. It has become worse
And worse.
and worse, and it's never going to stop until. And when I say corruption, that's what I'm talking about. That's corrupt to me, right?
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
When you spend money on something that you know is not effective, you have to wonder why. Why is that? Who's getting something from it? Certainly the nonprofits are, but you would have to be stupid not to suspect that there's something else going on. We're not naive.
I agree.
Yeah. And corruption is actually part of politics. You can never stamp it out completely. As long as the city functions, I think most people would agree to, okay, so it goes. But when it doesn't function, that's when you have problems. And it's not functioning. It's just not, it's falling apart. It's just terrible. And, I think the most problematic thing here is the deaths. 2 people a day dying of overdose.
Every single day.
Every single day.
That is very sad.
It is a tragedy. It is a crisis. And it's not inevitable. This didn't have to happen. It's because our health department that does not emphasize treatment. It is because our city government does not emphasize stopping the dealers who flood here. So
That is crazy because the amount of drugs that they're coming over here, like that's way more like easier with all the systems that we have over here. Like, you know, we have police, we have FBI, we have all kind of government agencies over here, but they cannot stop drug dealers.
they can. This is not an insurmountable problem, right? I mean,
Yes.
it is not something that somebody go, it is impossible. That's total nonsense. That's nonsense, right? You can if you want to. This is not money. This is not a financial problem. This is a policy problem. It's a desire problem,
I agree.
right? And it's a philosophical problem.
I agree.
A lot of people here are more than happy to have people dying on the streets. I can't get into that mindset. Don't know why that is, but it is. So, yeah, that's what we need to change. It's not about more money.
Do you think like really it's rumors that I've been hearing a lot, like some certain part of city, like they are like under cartels control? Is that true?
Heck yeah. 100%. You know, if you step back and you look at it from a little bit, from a bit of a distance, right? And you say, if this doesn't make sense, then you have to start connecting the dots. Why have the cartels been allowed to flourish? Why? It's not like we couldn't have stopped them, that we can't stop them. It's because we don't want to. So why don't we want to? Either people are scared to make those decisions, which I think is a bit ridiculous, or somebody's making money.
I agree.
And that's not a conspiracy. That's like just being logical, rational, right? I was just in Southern California, and I was in a beautiful, wealthy enclave called Del Mar.
Mhm.
Gorgeous. Sleepy, wouldn't want to live there. I went to high school there. They have beautiful beaches, and on top of the beaches are these gorgeous green parks, big green parks. Not a single needle, not a single piece of fentanyl foil, not a single dealer, not a single user, not a single tent, not a single person wandering around in a altered state, in a mental health crisis. Not one. Now you can say, oh, that's because of money. It's because it's such a wealthy place. I'll tell you why that is. Because they wouldn't allow it.
Absolutely.
That's
agree.
about as simple as it comes, right? They say
Absolutely.
no, absolutely not. We say yes, sure you can. That's it. That's it. Right?
I
If
totally
anybody wants to come up with some other explanation, I will certainly hear. But I have listened, and I've listened carefully, and nothing makes sense. They're not making sense. So
That is very sad.
it's really sad, but with the right management, this could get cleaned up in a matter of months.
I absolutely agree. That's true.
Do you?
Yes. A matter of a month or a week.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, it's funny because regarding homelessness, which is an issue, but homelessness is driven by drug addiction. It is 90% of it. A lot of people will say that that's not true, but those are the people who haven't been here and been in the trenches. Housing is not a solution. Housing is a problem in terms of you put a sick, addicted, mentally ill person in a home, they won't be successful in it. It will waste money. We look at, I think, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many millions of dollars the city has paid in settlements to the hotels where homeless people were put in during COVID. Totally destroyed the hotels. Is it their fault? No, they didn't get the right services. They're sick. They needed real help, not being shoved into a room, right? And so we're doing a disservice. In my opinion, I think that we need to have MASH tents, which are like these army tents, staffed by doctors and nurses who can do triage. People are at their legs are abscessed, they're very, very sick. Do an assessment and then make sure that they get the proper treatment, whatever that treatment is. But you don't leave people on the street, ever. And you don't allow it either. So just start there. Start there. I mean, my heart goes out to everybody who's got an addiction problem. I tried to quit coffee. Good luck with that. So I get it. But that doesn't mean that we just say, oh, well, there's nothing that we can do. That's nonsense. And we certainly don't accept just giving out needles and foil and crack pipes and meth pipes and saying good luck to you. That's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for death.
Yes.
And that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, but do you think all the crime, a lot of people getting into their cars broken?
Oh.
Like you see, so at least every day that I drive in San Francisco, at least I see 10 to 20 cars that there have been broken into their cars. Do you think it's because of the homeless people, or they're
No, I think it's because of opportunists. These are people who know that they can get away with it. They know that it's a lucrative job. It's a lucrative operation, and nothing happens to them. So why wouldn't criminals come, break into cars, break into apartments, break into restaurants, break into people's retail businesses, take what they want? Nothing, at this stage, it's a free-for-all. So it has attracted that element. And what does the city do? Nothing. Right? Although I do love our new DA, Brooke Jenkins. She's awesome.
I see. She's good.
Great.
Well, the other thing that they are saying, now if you steal something from a store which is under $1,000, you can get away with it.
Yep, $950. Proposition 47 that began in 2018, but now we're really seeing the issues with that. So it did a couple things. It created felonies. What was a felony dropped down to a misdemeanor. Right? Misdemeanor is a slap on the hand, if that. That's a problem. But also drug possession. That also became a misdemeanor rather than a felony. And so you have this kind of double whammy of theft and drugs combined, which has created the perfect storm of mayhem, chaos, danger, unlivability for some people who are in the thick of it. And, I have to say, our reputation, as you mentioned, has been destroyed. And it didn't take long. Our reputation used to be amazing, right? It's really hard to rebuild a reputation.
Everything. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to reputation, that's true.
Yeah.
Because it takes years to build something. For a very long time, it takes a minute to destroy it like a house.
Exactly. Okay. And a great analogy would be a relationship, right? Maybe you had a great marriage or a great boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, right? You thought everything was going well. You go out to dinner, you kiss, you snuggle, you have kids, you have all those wonderful things, right? You buy something together, you share, you go on vacations, everything's going great. During those times, you have trust, you have faith that the future is going to be great, right? You believe in that person. Then the other person cheats on you. All of that is out the window. And the future is also destroyed until you rebuild it. That takes time. So in a moment, right, you can destroy your reputation. You can destroy your credibility. And that's what we have, right?
I agree.
So that doesn't mean that we don't try to rebuild it. We're going to, because it's got all the good stuff, just like a relationship, right? Two people can have a really great, set of qualities,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That
Thank you
other
so
person, they
much.
apologize, they change, they go to counseling, they do all the right things. The city can do the same thing, right? We're sorry, we messed up. Right, we're going to do all the right things from this moment forward. We can do that. So that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're trying to do.
And I really hope that happens.
Me too.
Thank you so much, Erika. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.